everything we've ever done together, oh, good job, Savannah. Everything we've ever done together has always worked. But guys, it's like a gym membership. If you don't apply it, it's not going to work for you. So we've made it as easy as possible. You're going to see these cards today. They are built for our program. All you have to do is click a button and they will go out. You can either have them mailed or you can say, I want them hard copy. Some of my teams in different areas are wanting to deliver these cards in person to each house with their cash offer or their VIP equity report, etc. So, Chris, do me a favor. Why don't you give folks a little bit of background on yourself on Corefact, and then we'll get into looking at our pathway for our DVD program, okay?
Excellent. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I'm Chris Burnley, CEO of Corefact. And as Steve said, we've been working together a long time now. Corefact's been in business roughly 20 years. And so we started out as a company focused on lead generation for real estate. And we perfected this over the last 2 decades, primarily focused on taking direct mail and then integrating tons of different technology to essentially solicit responses and give you tools to follow up and close deals. And that's ultimately the goal. So, and when Steve called me, he said, hey, we're going to do this program. We're looking at distressed, sellers and so on. I said, oh, is this like 2008? He said, no, we got better data. We actually know what's going on this time. The banks don't own these properties. The homeowners do. They often have equity. They don't understand the situation. Can you help me put together a program where we can go after these? And so I sent this out to our marketing and design teams, and they've come up with 3 different paths, which are essentially miniature campaigns to go after these prospective sellers, and to not to scare them, but rather to tell them that there are some options, that we have buyers, that we have solutions. And then what we can do through the technology is identify who's responding to those and give you, either an SMS, text, email of, John Doe 123 Main Street did this, follow up. And then it's there for you to take it to the next step and actually get things done. Now, additionally to that, we know that sometimes it's difficult to get started with a program like this. And what we've done is we've created a dedicated resource for you. Her name is Jasmine Videth. She is part of our customer solutions team, and an email and phone number will be shared with you, so that if you want to get going with this, all you have to do is give her a call, send her an email, or go to dvd.corefact.com, and you can do it all on your own if you want. But
we're going to put the link up.
We're
going to put the link up at the end. I want you guys to kind of walk through this with me so you can see what we've done. We took our most successful engagement groups that have already started doing some of this. Typical Chris, we want what works the best. We didn't want to guess or try to use theory.
Right.
So Savannah, put up our pathways. We can walk folks through this. And Chris, talk to them about each postcard and how they're designed and why, like you said. Chris gave you a nugget, guys. What he's looking at is trying to get a consumer to do this. Did they log in? Did they look at it? Did they look at their value? Did they request more information? All these levels of engagement tell you where someone's at in the process. So go ahead, Savannah, and pull it up. We'll look at it one at a time if we could.
Yeah. So the first thing we did is we said, okay, we're going to develop a miniature 3-piece postcard campaign. And the idea being is we didn't want to say, oh, we recognize you're in trouble. Instead, we wanted to help them understand what's going on with their property. So in the case of this one that you're looking at on the screen here, this is a tap into your home's equity type of postcard. And if you look at, there's a QR code there on the screen. What happens is when they scan that QR code, they're going to get a estimated value of their home. And now that estimated value will be based on effectively recent sales in the area, but you actually have the ability to tweak that too if you want to adjust it up, adjust it down. But the idea is they may not understand how much equity they have in the home. And that's sort of the first step. Know that I have a capability of pulling some money out of this house. There's a way out, and then be able to track that. Now, in addition to the QR code, we have another thing that happens automatically, which is what we call informed delivery. And for those of you not familiar with informed delivery, it's essentially a service from the U.S. Postal Service where about 66 million people are using this, where that postcard will actually show up in their email box and it will have basically a little ad on there that will click through, either take them to a home estimate, to your landing page, wherever you want it to go. And so there's multiple ways that we track. We track the delivery of the postcards. We tracked whether they click through the informed delivery. We track whether they go through the QR code. And then those responses get sent to you via email and SMS, as well as you'll have a dashboard on the system to look and see what they actually did. So, and as we go through the path, the first step is really letting them know that we have equity. And if you want to click on the next card, Savannah, that would be great. The next one is, okay, now we're starting to come up with solutions, right? And we can work with you to come up with additional ideas, but the biggest one is that I have a buyer. And we can tweak this even further to say, we have a buyer that can close in 10 days, or we have a buyer that XYZ, cash, so on and so forth. And the idea is that not only can we do this, we can do it now. And so what we're doing is we're escalating the call to action to get that urgency turned over to them.
This is important. Remember, every QR code for every card's different. So we know exactly which one they looked at and who looked at it. Secondly, we have found that as agents, when we're trying to buy the property, the feedback from the consumer was it feels a little slick. When you say you have buyers, it makes them feel like their home's wanted by people and the engagement's higher. Now, if you buy it or don't buy it, that's totally up to you and your choice. In a number of our cases, we've got a number of our folks that are now investors that are using this program to purchase property. Great for them. But the I Have Buyers program gives you a little more engagement with the consumer because they feel like there's more people wanting it, not just someone's trying to be opportunistic, but that you have buyers, and on behalf of your clients, you're reaching out for their property. So just know these were all tested and they got a better response than I can buy your home for cash, which feels a little bit like when the consumer said they feel a little bit like they might be taken advantage of. This feels like I have people in my data bank that would like to contact you and purchase your property. Can we talk about this? And you do, because OfferPad, Homeward, some of our folks that are invested themselves, you are the people that can buy that property. Keep going, Chris.
All right. And then, so if we move on to card 3 in this particular path, and then the different paths have different variations, and we can customize this. If you
Savannah,
sit down and meet with Jasmine, she can help you put together a plan that'll work best for you. But the last one is what we call this a map card, and it's very visual. And the idea here is, again, to show them that homes are actually selling. And people get caught up in the news and they think that with the mortgage rates the way they are and the low inventory that nothing's moving, but that's not actually true. There are still homes moving. And this is a visual card that shows recent sales. These are actual recent sales, individualized for every single homeowner. So if their neighbor's home sold recently, it's going to show up on their card, and they're going to see that, and they're going to be able to actually go in and click, scan that QR code and see what's actually sold in their neighborhood. And again, another call to action, trying to get them to move forward. Everything, generally with direct mail is driven towards an action. And in this case, the call to action is scan the QR code, get a home estimate, contact me, and you have a bunch of different options also for the back of the postcard that you can put your own personalized messages if you have them. And Jasmine can help you set those up. But ultimately, the biggest failure we see with programs like this is that people get leads and they don't follow up. So if you're not going to follow up, if you're not going to, do something after this, I would say don't even bother, because it won't work if you don't do the legwork. Sometimes you get lucky, people call you, but you got to do the work. And if you do the work, it's a very successful thing. And these cards aren't that expensive. I mean, they're under $1 a piece, let's just say, and you're not mailing massive numbers of them. So it only takes one deal to pay for the entire program for a year, basically.
We like about it is most of them, Chris, have 35 new DVD leads a month. That's 400 plus sellers, right? Yeah. If you're looking at 70 cents or 75 cents, 80 cents a card, if you were to do that over the course of a year, you could automate this so it just happens. And to Chris's point, our folks have used words in their cards. This is a free, confidential, no obligation offer or service or estimate. They want the consumer to feel safe. Remember, a lot of these folks are in retreat because they're having a hard time, credit cards, car payment, divorce, jobs, etc. So this is giving them a lifeline. And we keep using the word call to action because you might send this out and get, just so you know, we're doing our own program here. Kip Dennison's called. We have Kip calling on leads every month. We get a 17% connection rate on calls on the first call. That's our average, right? So if that's 4 to 7 people every time we call the first batch. Now remember, it's cumulative. So 35, next month another 35. Now you're at 70. When you're 6 months in, you're going to be talking to a couple hundred people. Now you've got a chance to be opportunistic. This is like a building block of opportunity. So this is another way you can literally click it. But to Chris's point, if 6 people log in, those are the 6 you call back, right? Next month, the second Coast Guard goes out. Well, 9 people log in, and we call those 9 back. So we're trying to tell you who's kind of doing this, that you got to spend your effort and your time in. But this whole thing, the reason it's sexy is over time, at the minimum level, you're going to have 400 plus distressed sellers, of which you're going to be communicating with phone, text, email, and now direct mail.
Yeah.
At worst case scenario, you'll do 1.5%, 2%, which is 8 listings. That's the worst. That's the worst percentage I can ever give you.
And these things also go out fast. So we have 2 manufacturing plants. We have one in Louisville, Kentucky, which handles our East Coast clients, and we have one in San Leandro, California, which handles the West Coast. So generally, when these things go in, they go out the next day, and they're usually within the door within a few days. 3 to 4 days typically. So if the lists are timely in the sense that somebody's under duress and we're trying to get to them prior to notice of default or something, you get there, then you're talking to banks, and ultimately, if we can get there faster, then we're working directly with the principal, and we're more likely to close that deal and get things going. And so I think that kind of is the overall how it works. And if there's any questions, I'm open to answering any.
Chris, let's talk about best practice in terms of these 3 cards, right? Are they going out a week apart, 2 weeks apart, a month apart? How do you recommend them going out in sequence?
Yeah, I would actually do them faster, and I would go either weekly or every other week. Normally on a traditional campaign, we typically do it monthly or every 5 or 6 weeks, and that's typically for branding purposes. But in this case, because we have a distressed property owner, I think speed is of the essence. And then the other thing is, you need the time to work the deal and get it through. So if you're concerned about default or anything like that, I would not waste time. And then what you could do is do the 1, 2, 3, and then you could put them on a drip, which would be slower, right?
Yeah. Savannah, go ahead and put our link up there. This is the link which takes you to these. It's on our site. All you have to do, if you can put the actual link, Savannah, in the chat so people can click it, that would be great. You're going to be able to have this, and you guys can go right to the site, and you can do this for any of your postcards, but we built this specifically for you. And again, once you put your information in, calls to action, we like words like free, confidential, no obligation. We like that this is modeled based on the most contactability we've seen from our agent base. All of these things allow it for you to be easy to add another string to your bow of connecting with humans. And for context, Chris, thank you, Deanne. For context, Chris, how many cards will Corefact send out this quarter or this month?
This month, I don't know, 15 million. Quite a few.
Yeah. So this is not some new thing. This has been going on successfully forever. My biggest agents that I coach personally all use Corefact as their postcard. 1, because it marries tech and traditional, and 2, because it tells you who's doing this with their hand, who's maybe not quite ready to take a phone call or answer a text, but will go look online. And we've seen that is another way, an easier way for consumers to enter into engagement with you as opposed to returning a phone call or a text. Okay. But yes, Chris is right. Follow-up's important. What questions do we have from our audience now that you've seen some of this? What questions can we have for you? You guys are so wowed. You're like, this is amazing. Great. No questions.
I'll go ahead and ask one for the group. Hey, Chris, so when you were talking about timing, is that something the agent needs to go in there and set, as in, hey, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, or is there something where it's already preset if they don't do that?
Yeah, so we have a campaign management tool, and if you work with Jasmine, she'll set it up for you. You just tell her what you want. You don't have to do anything. If you want to do it yourself, you can log in and you can do everything manually. It's your choice. But I recommend focus your time on follow-up, focus your time on the clients themselves. Let us do the hard work for you. But yeah, you have full control of everything on the system. You can set it to, I want it to go to the post office on this date. I want this farm to go on this date, this other farm to go on a different date. It's very flexible. But what we find is often it gets complicated for some agents, and it's easier for us to do it. The other thing is your mailing list. In the mailing lists, we have a sort of an AI tool that loads lists and determines who's the addressee and all that. But some agents find that they don't want to do that, so you can just send Jasmine the list. She'll load it into your account and get it going. We support all the formats from all the title companies and so on.
I would advise this from a leverage point of view. Just take the list that you guys get every month, send it to Jasmine, say, hey, I'd like this to go out. I like 10 days to 2 weeks. I think especially early, because you're calling them early, you're texting them early. Now there's a card coming, there's another card coming, and you're calling them again. They're gonna be engaged with you. And that's, we've learned this, it takes 8 to 12 touches for them to literally be like, okay, this isn't going away, right? And that's the neat part of it. So feel free to use your resource. We provided these for you at no additional cost. So using it makes the most sense. Chris, can you think you could log in? Do you have the ability to log in and show them kind of what the dashboard looks like? Can we show them what that might look like? We give you screen capacity. Do you want to show them what that looks like? I know you're not. No, that might be outside your scope of.
Let me try, because I wasn't planning that, but
I know I'm throwing a curveball at you because our agents think on the fly, man. We're like, hey, but the dashboard's cool, and I love how you lay it out, and if they can see what all of you are going to get one of these again, free of charge once you order a postcard. So it's just part of the process, but this gives you a place where you can literally just see and be notified.
All right, give me a moment, see if I can do that. And while we're doing that, are there any other questions?
Go ahead, Yvette. Question from you. Go ahead.
We're just curious. So how does the splits work?
How do the what?
The splits, I guess the commission towards capital title we're associated with them?
No.
By getting these leads?
Splits are, you get 100% of the commission. There is no split in this program.
Oh, okay.
Does that make you feel better, Yvette?
Yes, it does.
You get, how about this? 100% to 0. There's your split. You get 100. Your title partner who recommended you, who just needs title orders, right? We're like the simplest humans. Just send us orders. That's it. The end. You guys keep all the money. Just do orders. That makes total sense. So, and that's why people like Magnus and Capital and some of our folks that are on here, Fidelity, et cetera, First American, you guys, they've done a great job of showing that. So it's 100% to you. This is an example of what your dashboard will look like, guys, what Chris is about to show you here. So when you log in, you'll see everybody you sent a postcard to and what, if any, actions have occurred.
So I pulled up, this is a real agent who mails, and I've hidden his name. I've scrolled it up so you can't see what it is. But basically what's happening is you'll see that there's a dashboard and it's under contacts. And then you'll notice that there's a starring system here. And that basically means that, they've taken multiple actions within the site. So I can click on that particular lead and I can see, okay, this person has come into this website twice, once on June 7th and once on June 14th.
Chris, can you expand that? People can't see it. So we're only seeing like your,
yeah, Chris, I'm sorry. I don't think your page is updated. We're seeing the hills.
Yeah, we're seeing like the screenshot.
Let me start over and try it one more time. Let's see. Okay, this one here. All right, let me know if you're able to see that.
Okay, that looks better. Yes,
we're good now.
There you go. That's perfect.
Okay, so what I was showing here, this is an actual agent, and happens to be one of his farms, and these here are leads that have come in through his postcard program. So you can see people are coming in all the time. Once, a couple days ago, and various things. He mails a couple different farms fairly regularly, but I can click on any of these leads, get the property information. See, like in this case, I just was talking about, this person's logged in twice over the last week. And, I can see all the history over time. I can see they've actually come in multiple times, right, over the last year. And so if this was somebody that was doing this, I'd be like, hey, they might be somebody I want to reach out to. You can create
This is
notes
important,
and
Chris,
go
too.
ahead.
Like, you guys can have, this is his farm list. You can have your DVD list. You could have your farm list. You could have your just sold or just listed list. So you can look them up by category, because obviously if they're in the DVD side, you might have a different action than if they're just in your farm, kind of on a recurring thing. So you can set these up as the campaigns in your database. I want to look at just my DVD actions, and it will show you that. So you can sort by that, which makes it very easy to categorize your lead flow.
And you'll notice in this case, a lot of the clients actually provide email addresses or phone numbers. So you can make it work that way. I'll go back to the DVD store. So once you create one of these, cards as an example, send it out. Anytime there's activity, that automatically flows into that lead manager. So you don't really have to do anything. And you'll also get the text message if you put in I don't want to go this one. I want to let's go to my account. I'll log into my account. I can do anything I want with that one.
By the way, when I met Chris, he had dark black hair. It tells you what working with realtors for 10 years will do to you. Look at him.
Exactly. So no, I have no activity, right? I don't actually farm, but your dashboard would look like this when you start out. All your contacts would be in there that Jasmine would load for you, and then over time, as activity occurs, they would start to show up in your leaderboard. And in cases where we have clients that have large farms, we do that star system to show you who's the most important to follow up with first. In your case, since your lists are generally on the smaller side, but accumulating over time, you're going to want to follow up with everybody. We also have follow-up cards if you need to automate that, but we really recommend doing something like calling them, emailing, physical action taken right away. One of the things we have noticed over the years is we'll get a call from an agent saying, hey, I used your program and somebody in my farm just listed and they didn't list with me. I'm like, okay. So we go in, we look, okay, there's the contact. Yeah, that person came in like 6 times over the last 6 months. What did you do? Oh, I didn't do anything. And unfortunately, that's the name of the game. You got to work the leads. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll get lucky, but that's how it works.
100%. And again, what I like about the star system, you don't need to call all 35, but if 6 logged in, you need to call those 6, text those 6.
Yeah.
Our email bounce back ratio is less than 20%. So 80% of the emails we're sending are going through to the client. So that tells me that the verified data is making more and more sense. And again, we've given you a whole store. You can use multiple stuff. We built this DVD piece specifically for this program, but whatever you're doing on the direct mail side, I will assure you your results, transparency, and trackability will be greater here. Because I work with 26 of the top 50 teams in America. All of them use this program because they can absolutely quantify their spend to touch to ROI to ratio. Okay. Conscious of our time, we're at our 30 minutes. What other questions can we answer for Chris? Everybody's got the link in your chat. We'll send the link out with this video so you can review it if you'd like to ask questions. We've got our success sales executive for Corefact already designated just to you guys, so all of you will be able to contact that. I would, again, use it as leverage. You can load all this stuff if you want to. Chris's team is fantastic. Again, we've worked with them for 10 years. They'll take great care of you, get you started, get you launched. Then what we need you to do that we cannot do is, as people do this, pick the phone up, get on a text, attack. Every morning, I would argue our folks, 15 minutes in the morning, check your dashboard. By the way, Weekends, check your dashboard. Most of our activity happens in the weekend time or the evenings. So the next morning is a good time to follow up. Any other
Yeah.
questions we can answer for Chris or the program?
And I was just
Excellent.
going to mention that outside of the campaigns that we've put together for the DVD group, you have access to the entire library. And so I think we have roughly 30,000 different, designs that are available to you. And, depending on the situation. So if you want to do something a little different, you can. But I would recommend, working with Jasmine to help you identify, because we know what's worked for other agents. And we'd like to make sure that you get something that works versus, choosing something that's maybe less impactful.
I will say this, Chris, we've been taught over the years, don't be creative. Your R&D department should be rip off and duplicate. Do not try to make stuff up yourself. There's no reason to do that. All right, let's take what already is working and make it work. Okay, but you guys have all this now. Savannah will send out your success coach information, email, and our link to the site, which is on our RevFirm site. You guys can go and do you and make sure we make this happen. We'll be touting success stories. Kippy, as someone who's sold 95% of this, give me a nugget you're seeing with our best contactability agents and how they're winning. Give me one nugget.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, guys, the mailer campaign's going well. Door knocking with these cash offers is going well. One thing I have seen a lot of, at least response rate from, obviously, we preach texting. If any of you guys are comfy with it, a video text, 97% of those get opened. Who can resist, right? So simple video text, hey, making a cash offer, got some clients that want to move to your area, would love to stop by, when's a good time for you? You're going to see they at least saw it or responded most of the time, y'all. That's probably the best nugget I can give from what we've seen here today. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of our ladies. You guys should do video. Guys, I would stick to audio, but that's okay. Up to you. Just kidding, mostly. All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll send this out to everybody so you've got it. Any questions, let us know. Chris, I love you. Thanks for being such a great partner, man. We appreciate it, guys. Let's go get listings. Let's go. It's the future and getting bigger. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure.
Bye.